Welcome back, pod saucers.
What's up?
Sauce potters.
Sauce potters. Sounds like Harry Potter.
I know.
Sauce heads. Sauce heads.
That's cute. Hello, sauce heads.
Well, this past week was really interesting. If you are, I don't know, you have a TV and a phone with news headlines coming at you, you probably heard about the shooting that happened in, well, it wasn't in Chicago, but Illinois. It was right outside of Chicago, or like an hour, I think. Mm-hmm. And left 7 people dead. But also something that not too many people are talking about is the shooting of Jayland Walker that happened in Akron, Ohio. Akron, I think. Akron? Yeah, mm-hmm. Akron, Ohio.
Akron.
That was horrific, just beyond horrific. And that shooting happened June 27th. And we're going to go into all the details of that. But what's interesting about it was, they shot him, and we'll go into how many times, but a lot. And claiming that he went for a gun, or went for their gun. And then I think it was 4th of July weekend where the body cam footage was actually released. And that couldn't have been farther than the truth. So, yeah.
Well, and so the juxtaposition between these two shootings, where one was a shooting where a kid went into the crowd of a parade, and was apprehended and taken away alive, and then a kid who was being chased down. Mm-hmm. He wasn't committing a mass shooting, and he was shot 90 times and handcuffed and taken to the morgue in handcuffs. So we have an issue here, and it's definitely black and white.
Yeah,
and
literally.
We don't.
And it's the thing too. It's like, I don't think the shooter should be shot dead 90 times. I think they all should be taken out alive. That should be the process, so there can be due process. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's how we should treat these people. So it's like, it's not that I think they all should be shot to death. It's just so fucking interesting how differently we treat these perpetrators, and one's for a alleged traffic violation, the other is literally a planned mass shooting. And before we get into the details, I want to shout out Fabiola Cineas for Vox for their article, and Olivia Truffaut-Wong for The Cut for their article as well. They're a big help for finding all the details for this episode.
So we'll go into the Akron, Ohio one first. Just for, I know we all know bits of the story, but to give context, and then, we'll discuss, and then hopefully you guys can also form your opinions. And when these are pitted against each other like this, back to back almost, and it's just the injustices and the inequities and how these things are dealt with is just so blatant, as it already has been, but here it is. So police officers in Akron, Ohio shot and killed 25-year-old Jayland Walker in the early hours of Monday, June 27th, after they attempted to stop his car for an alleged traffic and equipment violation. Walker suffered more than 60 wounds, according to a preliminary medical examiner's report. Multiple officers shot at him an estimated 90 times following a car chase. Walker was unarmed at the time he was killed. Police said at a news conference on Sunday, July 3rd, that he was unarmed. So video footage released almost a week after the shooting raised many questions about the officer's conduct and set off protests in Akron, where the mayor declared a state of emergency and issued a curfew on the July 4th holiday to, quote, preserve peace. Peace is not preserved, sir. The killing of Walker is the 3rd police shooting in Akron since December, according to the Washington Post. And I heard yesterday, my dad read this and he told me, I don't know the exact number, but it was 300. I think it was 360 something. It was 360 something. That's how many shootings America has had in 2022, and we are just over 150 days in, and we've had 360 something shootings. Just putting that in there.
I mean, I was talking to my friend the other day, which was so eerie. She was like, I can't believe we haven't even gotten to the point yet, or in our circle, where we don't know someone that has either been killed or survived in a mass shooting. Like, it's only a matter of time until we all know at least one person. And the day after was this shooting, and she knows someone that was at they didn't die,
I have chills.
but who was at the parade.
Wow.
And survived a mass shooting. Like,
wow.
it was literally the day after, and she.
Oh, I can't believe she said that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's true. It's like it's gonna get down to the fact that we're gonna know somebody that either died or survived, and then it's gonna dwindle the more we decide to deflect and not make it about politics when it comes to gun control or doing something active. You know, like they love to say, oh, it's the mental health issue. It's a mental health issue. Okay, then what are you doing for mental health? What are you doing to help?
Yeah, it is
fund social work services, and you're not doing anything because you don't
America is a mental health issue.
Yeah, we really are.
We are.
Yeah, and the more that we continue to deflect that way, it's not even just it's a matter of time that we know someone who survived. It's going to be. We're all going to know someone that died in a mass shooting. If it's not you, if it's not you, right. And that's horrifying. But anyway, most of the information so far about Walker's killing comes from the police themselves. So as we said at the beginning, big surprise that police lie. There is a term, and I wish I remembered it, that is well known. I think probably more with leftists, but there's a term when police lie. It's like, I forget what it's called. And it's mostly like when they lie on the stand to protect each other. But I forget the term. But
called
anyway.
Bullshit?
Yeah, essentially. But there's like a more clever term. Most of the information so far about Walker's killing came from police themselves. The footage shows officers in their vehicles pursuing Walker in a car chase that lasted about 7 minutes on an expressway and on city streets. As Walker's car slows down, there is video. I saw this video. Shows officers exiting their vehicles to approach a silver car. Walker leaves it from the passenger side and runs away. Several officers then pursue him on foot, and then seconds later, eight, because it takes 8 police officers to open fire and kill him. 8. The officers could be heard shooting. I refuse to watch this video because there are people that were close. I think their priest or their pastor saw it, and like other forensic experts saw it, and they're like, we do not recommend people. I mean, like, watch it, but like
watching this
at your own risk. Like, his own family refuses to watch it, which I completely understand. That's not how you want to watch your loved one die, like a fucking animal. Worse than an animal.
Oh yeah.
So
worse than death row inmates. They're humanely put, like,
yeah, and there's even like more talk about even the death penalty becoming more humane, meaning that I think there are bills trying to get passed so death row inmates can choose how they die. Before it wasn't. It's just whatever the standard is in their county or their state. But now they can choose, like, oh, I'd rather do this or whatever. So the officers were shooting nonstop. And then at one point, one officer is heard in the video, like, yelling, ceasefire, ceasefire. Yeah, like that did anything. And then the officers then continue to handcuff Walker's dead body. And the medical professionals announced that Walker was dead at the scene, obviously. And what is at issue is whether Walker posed a threat to the officers during the encounter and whether the police faced danger that required them to use force. Not even just force, like beating him up, like, you know what I mean? It's just the
holding him down.
8. Right. I mean, obviously all force is disgusting to that degree for no reason, for a traffic violation, whatever.
Right.
But 8 officers needing to open fire 90 times. That is insane. Yet officers reported to investigators that they believed Walker was turning back toward them, reaching for his waist and moving into a firing position. And that is all according to the police chief during like a press conference.
Yeah, of course. Moving into a firing position, even if he's one guy and you have 8 people shooting at him anyway.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it was all disproven. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And then there's still never any repercussions for the police academy for the chief, for all these people who are just like, oh yeah, oh here's my body cam. Oh, it's compiled footage that the police compiled, meaning edited into clips. And oh, here's some from here, here's some from this, here's some, who put this together. So the Akron Police Department compiled a narrative of video that combines some of the body camera footage with their official narrative of events. They say the officers attempted to stop Jayland Walker at 12:30 a.m. for a traffic and equipment violation. Not a strategically planned mass shooting at a 4th of July Day parade, a traffic violation. Walker, however, did not stop and instead led officers on a car chase. While on the expressway and 40 seconds into the chase, an officer can be heard stating on body camera audio, "That vehicle just had a shot come out of its door." The narrated police video claims that a flash of light can be seen on the driver's side of the suspect's vehicle. The video is taken from an ODOT camera along the expressway and is fuzzy and was recorded from far away. And it is not clear from the video that Walker tried to shoot at officers, since he was driving ahead of and away from them.
I saw the video. That video is what I saw.
Did you?
And yeah, there is a flash of light. It's possible, and I don't know if we go over that. I can't remember, but they do find casing that's similar.
Oh yeah, they did.
But this is we'll go to it, but it's all fishy. It's all really
the problem
fishy.
is that even when these facts come out and they're like, oh, they did find a casing, no one then goes further and is like, does that justify being shot 90 times by multiple officers when you're not holding a gun?
Guys, we're talking about like we were just talking about the Uvalde shooting where cops were out there, and I think because we had recorded that episode like the day after. And there was more information that had come out because police were lying so much that like there was not enough credible information out when we were recording.
Yeah.
And then more information came out. It was not 45 minutes that they were waiting. It was an hour and a half that they were literally like in the school, like in the foyer of the school.
Yeah.
Police officers with their armors and their big fucking guns doing nothing.
Oh, they weren't doing nothing. They were holding back parents, restraining parents who came to get their kids from the school.
Right.
And then that one mom who got out of the police, they cuffed her and then they let her go, and she ran into the building and she found her 2 kids.
Yep.
So
and
they weren't doing that.
And it's so funny with that, speaking like cops lying and like them just being corrupt in general, like that mom, was obviously like a news darling, and she was doing so many interviews talking about her heroism and her bravery of just, being a mom. And the police were so upset that she kept telling the story that they knocked on her door and told her like, oh, by the way, you have like these, I don't know if it's like old warrants or just old like traffic violations.
What?
Or no. She was arrested for like a misdemeanor like a decade ago. And they were like, this technically breaks your, I don't know about a decade. I forget, a certain amount of years away. They're like, what you just did, like it kind of violates your parole. So if you keep talking, we'll arrest you, essentially.
Oh,
like,
of course.
Completely threatened her. Like, that's how sinister the police departments are. And I'm watching this. Joey, we had him on to talk about the show. I'm finally watching it. The oh my God, no, it's on HBO.
Or HBO.
Oh my God, We Own This City. And it's all about the corrupt Baltimore police department before, during, and after the Freddie Gray murder. And there's stuff that I had no idea about that this police department was doing. It's insane. And it's just so gross. It's so gross.
And it was not that long ago, and it's still happening.
Oh, yeah. And that's just, Freddie Gray put eyes on that city. So that's why a lot of these things came to light. I mean, imagine all these other departments. Like, it's disgusting.
Right. It's time to move to the Amazon. We don't burn it down first.
Yeah.
Okay. So the pursuit then continued onto a ramp, then on city streets. Moments later, Walker slows down. Officers can be heard saying he's slowing down as they prepare to get out of their squad cars, and exits from the passenger side door of his vehicle as several officers scream, "Don't fucking move. Stop moving. Show me your fucking hands." Police say they tried to stop Walker with tasers, but that the taser deployment was unsuccessful.
So now what are you going to do?
Many
8 officers need to shoot him now because the taser wasn't effective.
Right.
That makes sense.
But then it's also like, of all the money going to police departments and all the training, and now you're out on the field and your taser doesn't fucking work. No one's fucking taser works. And how many of you are there?
Remember that one officer that like didn't know how to distinguish from her actual gun to her taser gun, and she shot that guy? What the like? Again, this is another one of those instances. It's just like does not. And they can just matters.
They can just write it off as their explanation for why they shot him instead of tasering is taser deployment was unsuccessful. Well, it's unsuccessful as well if you don't ever attempt it. It's unsuccessful if you decide not to use it. It's unsuccessful if your taser breaks. It's unsuccessful. Unsuccessful just means your deployment was unsuccessful. Well, I'm being unsuccessful at drinking water right now, mostly because I'm not holding a water bottle up to my face. So it's like,
so you should drink bleach right now.
Yeah. And so it's just like that's all they have to say. Taser deployment was unsuccessful. And then, so multiple officers can be seen with their guns drawn even before Walker exits the vehicle. So even before they attempt, or unsuccessfully taser him. The gun's already drawn and aimed at him. At least one officer can be seen with a taser on video.
Yeah, you'd think like instead of those 8 officers would have their taser guns out first, because why on earth would this warrant shooting them dead? It's also like I'm trying, you know what I mean? Like giving the most benefit of the doubt to these officers if they were so sure that there was gunfire on that expressway, right? And they were getting shot at. They knew that there was a gun in the vehicle at all. I understand the shoot to kill aspect. If you just shot him in a leg, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the fact that even 90 times, like you want to execute him. Like,
while he's not aiming a gun at them for any of this time. He's not shooting back at them. He's not, and you're chasing him down. He doesn't stop immediately, okay, and you have a little chase. This is for, like, we just blow right over all the time. This is for a traffic violation. He's not apprehended after leaving a scene of where he shot people. He's not leaving a fucking shooting. He didn't plan a he didn't do anything that would ever even warrant, like, we might need to take this guy down. Like, he's black. He's black, though, so that's the end all be all. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know if we got that. He's definitely not white. So officers in this video can be seen immediately running after Walker on foot into an empty parking lot. Police say Walker turned toward them quickly, though this is obviously difficult to discern from the video, at which point police officers fired their weapons, and they continued to shoot Walker repeatedly after he had already fallen to the ground and was no longer voluntarily moving. Walker's body could be seen twitching after every shot. Officers found a handgun and a loaded magazine in Walker's vehicle after the shooting, they said, and there were no bullets in the gun. That's interesting.
And he was shot outside the car,
and
he doesn't have a gun on him.
And I'm sorry, there's just so much corruption in police departments. And, you know, the show, We Own the City, was based on a really popular book. I recommend everyone watch it and read the book. And that's just, I mean, like, this police corruption everywhere, but like that highlights it just from that alone. It's just like, it really, there is, unless you're delusional, we really can't be giving police departments the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this stuff. It really is.
No.
You're not this like conspiracy theorist to believe that there is a really good chance that they could have planted that gun after the fact.
Oh yeah,
and
easily.
I don't know if we go into it here. I can't remember, I'm like forgetting things, but a wedding ring was found with the gun, and he was never married. And there's also a thing like maybe he wanted suicide by police because his girlfriend was died tragically in the same month. Did you know, like, his girlfriend died, but they were never married. So people are thinking that he was like really depressed and just wanted to die by, I don't know, but he was running away.
Why would he do that? He literally just was driving away, and it's a police, it's a traffic violation. He didn't do anything that was like, okay, they're going to come.
Yeah, I mean, like, he could have just like done a mass shooting, but that's only a white man thing. Really.
It's a white thing.
mental health issue. But even if that was the case, you don't shoot them like an animal. It does not, even if he was asking, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It is bananas, regardless how he was executed. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
So the video does not show whether officers attempted a traffic stop, as they claim, and only begins with officers in their car chasing Walker on the expressway. Really convenient.
It begins with that. It begins with that. Okay, someone has to turn their video on now. Okay.
And they did not know what the traffic or equipment violation was that officers tried to stop Walker for. I think the lawyer was talking about this, which leaves the question open for why there were more than a dozen officers at the scene for an alleged traffic violation. That is another angle to this. What? A traffic violation? You guys are that weak? How much money do you guys make, and how much armor, how much protection, guns that you guys have? You need 12 officers to for a traffic violation? You guys are bitches. Just fucking, you guys are bitches.
Yeah.
Just weak bitches that have a need to have any sort of power or control that you didn't get growing up, and you need to exert it in some way, and a badge is the way to do it. But it doesn't erase the fact that at your core, you're a bitch. A racist bitch. Ugh. Okay. Lawyers for Walker's family are also questioning why the police only released parts of the available video and are calling for the release for all of it. It is also unclear exactly how many times officers shot Walker and how many bullets struck his body. The police chief confirmed at the police conference that the medical examiner observed over 60 bullet wounds on Walker's body and had not yet examined the wounds to determine where the entrance or exit wounds were. And it was like one of those things where he was murdered, like the amount of, I mean, imagine, you know, he's not a big guy. He had so many bullet wounds that you can't even tell certain things because how eviscerated his body was.
Yeah.
But so the 8 officers who fired their weapons have been placed on paid administrative leave, obviously. And
paid,
and in the Akron Police Department said that they arrested and charged about 50 demonstrators on Monday after rioting and misconduct, among other charges. Obviously, like when you kill and execute a person seemingly over a traffic violation and running and like all of this shit, okay, whatever. Like, if you're not upset about that, you're not obviously you're not paying attention. But you're doing that. It's survival. You know what I mean? You are hitting the streets out of survival because you don't want that to happen to your loved ones. You don't want that to happen to you. It is it is fucking survival. And to look at it in any other way, it is bad faith, especially comparing it to the January 6th. Like, I hate this fucking, like,
oh my God,
treat your city with respect after what the fuck? Like, especially black people, they fucking built these cities. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Like, and it's their lives on the line. Like, I'm not going to fucking dictate how they should express their anger and their survival. Like, go fuck yourself.
No, fuck yourself.
What's interesting, Bianca Austin, who's the 41-year-old aunt of Breonna Taylor, was, and she lives in Louisville, was arrested during the protest, as well as Jacob Blake, the father of Jacob Blake, who was also shot. He was arrested too at these. It's so funny. So Jacob Blake's dad and Breonna Taylor's aunt were arrested at these. It's just so gross. It is so gross.
Yeah. No, it's very calculated, very intentional, and this is what our country's built on, and so this is what will continue to happen until we start to dismantle it, because this is what we're built on. It's not a broken system. It's working the way it was designed.
100%.
So the annual 4th of July parade at Highland Park, Illinois, ended abruptly on Monday after a shooter opened fire on the crowd, killing 7 people and injuring at least 30 others. The shooter fled the scene, prompting a citywide search, and a suspect was arrested hours later. He's been charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. The shooting reportedly started at 10:15 a.m. as the parade was in full swing. The video from the scene shared on social media shows people enjoying a parade and being confused when people in the procession started running. In one video, a person yelling, "Shots, shots," can be heard in the background as what looks like a school band passes by. A witness told CBS News that the shooting went on for several minutes. The shooter was reportedly stationed on a roof and fired into the parade. Local police recovered firearm evidence at the scene, including a high-powered rifle and bullet casings, but the shooter initially evaded law enforcement, resulting in a citywide search. Hours after the shooting, police identified as a person of interest. Huh? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm following Alyssa's lead and refusal to say his name because fuck him. But I accidentally just said it, but I won't say it again. As a person of interest, who was later apprehended after attempting to flee a traffic stop near Lake Forest on Tuesday. Officials charged him with several counts of first-degree murder, and he's expected to be charged with more crimes relating to the shooting. The shooter reportedly planned the attack for weeks. He's also believed to have dressed in women's clothing and worn a long-haired wig as a disguise to get away from the scene. He was able to leave the parade and walk to his mother's house, where he took her car and left. He reportedly drove to Wisconsin and Chicago, where someone reported him to the North Chicago police.
I can't.
Just walked to his mom's house.
Oh.
I'm just going to walk to mom's house real quick.
Meanwhile, 12 officers on the scene for a traffic violation. Cool.
Yeah.
So the shooter is a local who lived in a back unit of a home owned by his father, who, interestingly enough, ran for mayor of Highland Park in 2019. He also had a history with local law enforcement. Big surprise. This is a pattern that you see in most mass shooters. In 2019, police confiscated 16 knives, a dagger, and a sword from his home after he threatened to kill everyone in his family's house.
Wow. Cool.
5 months prior to that.
Good thing he didn't kill his mom, or he wouldn't have a house to walk to and a car to use after this.
Right. Yeah. 5 months prior to that, police reportedly responded to a suicide attempt. A police officer told reporters that there were no guns at the scene at the time and no charges were filed, but a clear and present danger report was filed with the Illinois State Police. So
okay.
This guy already had a reputation and a record and all this stuff. And 3 months after police confiscated weapons at his home, the shooter applied for an FOID card, or a firearm owner's identity card, issued by the Illinois State Police with the support of his father, and was approved in January 2020. Even after all this, after he... As the Illinois State Police explained in a statement issued on last Tuesday per NPR, the clear and present danger report apparently didn't stop the shooter from obtaining an FOID card, because no one, including his family, was willing to move forward on a complaint, nor did they subsequently provide information on threats or mental health that would have allowed law enforcement to take additional action. In the years since getting his FOID card, the shooter has reportedly passed 4 background checks. He passed so I hate when the right is like, we already have gun control. The background checks are so intense.
Right,
oh yeah,
right.
They're so intense. Yeah, he passed 4 after already having a record. And what's so interesting about this is it really does start in the home. You know what I mean? The fact that his family didn't give all really the hard evidence that they had in the timely manner that they needed to do it. Of his declining mental health and how unstable.
Well, they took him to get approved for his gun.
Yeah, because they're fucked up. They're the bottom of the barrel of our society. They really, really are. I have no fucking sympathy for them. They could have stopped this multiple times. It reminds me of a video, and I think this is a couple of years old, of it was body cam footage of police going to the home of a 15-year-old who, on a video game, told other people in the game that he was going to shoot up a school. And I guess it worked out. So they knew who the kid was, someone in the video game, and alerted the police. And the police went to the kid's home to be like, we need to ascertain you. Basically, we need to evaluate you and figure this out. There, in this video, you don't see the kid at all. It's just the mom, obviously is white, mom just comically sobbing, being like, he's just a child. He would never do this. Why? No, leave him alone. it's just like he needs to be charged
Oh
with
my
juvenile, ma'am.
God.
Like we don't know that this isn't your son. Like every single parent of a mass shooter says that. Oh,
Every
it
single
can't be our
parent.
son, and this is one of them. This is a clear. No, you just can't. No, he's a. I won't let you take him. He's just a little
Oh
boy.
my God.
It's so painful. And especially like after this, it's just like I have no sympathy for this family. None.
Yeah, no.
Social media posts appeared to show that the shooter was a Donald Trump supporter. Shocking. And he
What?
reportedly posted a photo of himself draped in a Trump campaign flag to Twitter in June of 2021 and shared a video of himself cheering on
Sick.
Trump's motorcade outside an airport earlier that year. He also raps. He's a rapper named Awake.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. According to NBC News, videos posted on his YouTube channel featured depictions of mass murder, and like it was just all weird.
You know what really fucking pisses me off when they were talking about this shooter on the news, like it was like the day it happened. I think it was on the 4th. One of the first things they described of him was that he's been listening to, had been listening to a lot of violent music, a lot of rap music and violent music. And so, not saying that I didn't hear until just now that, oh, he's a rapper, but this further, any little thing that you can find that associates him with Black culture, where it's like, even that, oh, he's listening to violent rap music. He's listening to rap music. That was why. Instead of, oh no, it's because he's a white male who's indoctrinated into this has all of these other things. It's the rap music he was listening to. That fucking pisses me off, because when it's convenient for white people to step into and appreciate Black culture and rap artists and music and the fashion and the style and the like, everything, the slang, everything, then it's great. But then someone, oh, he shot someone. Oh, he was listening to rap music. He was listening to rap music.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
I'm trying to figure out if more has been released about his motive, because that Highland Park is a predominantly Jewish town. I don't think, at this time that we know of, and we're recording this on the 9th, we don't have a motive. I mean, politically, possibly, but also, was he anti-Semitic? I mean, it wouldn't be shocking if he was, knowing that.
I mean, he was at a Trump rally, so.
Yeah, I mean, it all tracks. So the shooter is currently being held without bail and is expected back in court on July 28th. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's just so sad.
It's so sad. And it's like, I understand. Alyssa and I talk about this a lot, like, especially lately with all the shit that's been going on. Obviously, these are the things we care about, and this is urgent, and we have episodes. We have a lot of episodes lately that are just like heavy and about these things, but it's more than just like, these are the facts and reporting the news. It's like analyzing the situation and what is this saying? Like bringing these two, they're not even both they're shootings, but one's the police shooting a 25-year-old over a traffic violation, and then one's an actual mass shooting. But putting these back to back and really looking at them side by side and having these conversations and pointing out things like why they feel the need to say that he's been listening to rap music. Why aren't they more concerned with the fact that like his all of the things you mentioned before that I actually that are out now, but the day later in the day that it happened, he's been listening to rap music. All of these things are the reason we have these episodes too, to just like, but what about this? But what about this? And what can we do about it? And why don't we see it this way? And so for those of you who are like loyal listeners, we really appreciate you. And I know we bring like a wide range of like light and informative and then heavy and darker subjects, but this is the human experience. This is SOS.
Yeah, exactly.
This is all
to
SOS.
our core, like it would be disingenuous for us to not talk about stuff like this, because we are passionate about equality and equity and calling out the bullshit. And we don't claim to be the smartest people ever, but like we are, You know what I mean? We are ever learning, and we are going to share everything that we know and share our minds and our voices.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that, I don't know, you continue to pay attention to stuff like this, especially if you are a white person. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
really, I mean, every year it gets harder and harder to ignore the hypocrisy of how we treat people and men in our society.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just like continuing to have these, to not only just read the news articles and watch the clips that you see on Instagram or social media, but then to really discuss with your circle of people, with your close people, or with people that you maybe have different views with, but that you're able to have actual productive discussions with. It's hard to find those relationships, but I think those are really valuable. But it's just like, getting your information from where you get it, and then taking that, people stop there. And I think we're trying to encourage people to form your own thoughts, questions, and like opinions from there. Mostly questions, because there's a lot of things that aren't answered. Like, you read a news article and then later you're like, but why did it highlight this? And why did it just say the taser was unsuccessful? Like, why did it stop there?
I know.
Like, why don't we need to be questioning everything, really, and then talking about it, because we can't just accept what we're fed, because we're fed bullshit.
And we can't forget, like, I think people are already stop talking about Uvalde and those kids that were shot. I mean, I mean, I don't get it, but like, I get it in the fact that we're desensitized as Americans, because there is a mass shooting, every other day with that?
Yeah. Well, if there's been
or a few
360 something shootings so far this year in the U.S. and we're only 160 something days in, then it's been multiple a day if you want to average it out.
Yeah. So, I mean, like we, mentioned earlier, like, it is only a matter of time before someone that is either survived a mass shooting or has not survived a mass shooting. And you can't just care about this until it happens to you or to someone you know. It's just so, like, if we can't teach empathy, if you don't already have it, it's really, it actually is kind of impossible to teach empathy. And I think, I don't know, check out our episode with Nicole Bendine, because we talk about hormones in our food and like lead and plastic poisoning. And I think maybe that just is why Americans are so fucking feckless and ignorant.
And that one's next week, but we have her back on. But it's like,
you know what I mean? It has to be like something in the water.
This honestly goes so much deeper. This infiltrates every system and thing that's in place in our country. So thank you guys for sticking with us. We're going to link Alyssa mentioned earlier in the episode the articles that helped with this research, but we'll link it. Black Lives Matter is our charity that we are consistently and constantly shouting out. blacklivesmatter.com. Learn more, donate. Just continue to educate yourselves and ask questions in your head, even if you don't have anyone to talk about. Like, think about the things you're seeing and reading and really analyze them, because your brain works. So use it.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully it does.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
Our delay is so fun today.
I know, it's
we're
weird.
on Zoom, guys. But please follow us at Instagram at the SOS Pod. We're also on YouTube. You can see our faces, SOS with Molly and Alyssa, and subscribe to us. Rate and view us on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast. The reviewing part really helps us reach more people when you do that. So.
Yeah. And I'm Molly Cottrell.
I'm Alyssa Rosano.
Here's to turning meltdowns
into magic.